and try to invoke the respective experiences to the best you can. Don't ruminate over the past. Don't anticipate for the future, and to disengage yourself from any other thoughts other than the instructions, and follow. Let your mind flow in the meaning. Let your mind flow in the experience to the best you can. Immeasurable loving kindness. How good would it be that all my dear Mother Sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. The causes of happiness primarily consisting of the wisdom of emptiness and the unconditional love of Bodhicitta. May all my dear Mother Sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. I will take the responsibility that all my dear Mother Sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, witnessing their you make such a courageous commitment, like a mother after all these many years of hardship, the eldest daughter was 14 years old, eldest son maybe 13, 14 years old. Two of them come to the mother and tell the mother, please take a rest. You have done everything for us. We are already grown up. How will we take care of our siblings? We'll also take care of you. Please, mother, please take a rest. Mother could not believe her eyes. Mother could not believe her ears. It's something so momentous. Tears rolling down her cheeks out of so much of joy and happiness and the pride she feels towards you. This is exactly what is happening to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas today. Seeing that you're making such encouragement, they are so intensely happy. And this happiness and the pride that they feel invoke their compassionate omniscient minds to ascend for the nectars and soothing lights towards you and all human sentient beings. The mere touch of the lights and nectars with the bodies and beings yours instills in all happiness and causes happiness in the minds of sentient beings yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening towards all of human sentient beings. You are intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Next, immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dear Mother Sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. Cause of suffering primarily consisting of self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. May all my dear Mother Sentient beings be freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. I will take the responsibility that all my dear Mother Sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, witnessing that they make such a gracious commitment, they intensely happy and proud of you. Despite the happiness invokes the compassionate omniscient minds to send for nectars and soothing lights, because you are all dear Mother Sentient beings. The mere touch of the lights and nectars with the bodies of beings in yours washes away all the miseries and the cause of miseries from the minds of sentient beings in yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to us all the human sentient beings. You are intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Okay, we'll skip the remaining 2 immeasurables. Underscoring the first two immeasurables is the unconditional love towards all human sentient beings. And this unconditional love is the basis for you to generate this incredibly appealing, incredibly courageous mind of Bodhicitta for the human sentient beings. Abide in this courageous mind of this appealing mind of the unconditional love towards all beings. Imagining that you're looking at the eyes of each of the sentient beings, reassuring them that I'm there, I'll take care of you, have no fear, have no worry, I'll take care of you, reassuring them to the extent that each one of them feels themselves as so special in the eyes. Beautiful mind, beautiful state, amazing, what a moment. Okay. With 40 hands, we'll make a commitment of the bodhicitta. And I'll say this commitment first, and we'll all say this 3 times together. Be it superficial, it doesn't matter. This is how we start, and eventually, with a very successful practice, will become very spontaneous and intense. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. Stay in this beautiful mind of bodhicitta, the most beautiful mind that can possibly exist in this universe. Stay in this experience, abide in this experience for a while. Slowly transform this beautiful mind of bodhicitta into a spotlessly clean white moon disk, 1 inch or 1.5 inches in diameter, moon disk, horizontally sitting at your heart. Well, it's amazing that you made such a courageous commitment to become Buddha for the benefit. It's amazing, but however much you may squeeze a handful of sand, oil will not come out of that. How can you say that in a case you are not like a handful of sand, where the Buddhahood will not come out? Of course, I'm not like a handful of sand. I'm like a handful of sunflower seeds, squeezing of which oil will come out of this. I have the Buddha nature inside me. I have the potential of the oil. I have the potential of Buddhahood within me, Buddha nature. How come that since time immemorial till now, it never became manifested? It never manifested till now. Yes, that's right. It's all because that till today, I've been trusting the self-grasping and self-centered attitude. I've been trusting them as my best of the friends, seeing them as the ultimate guide, ultimate friend, ultimate protector, ultimate guard. And today I'm disillusioned. From this retreat, I'm disillusioned by these 2 demons, self-grasping and self-centered attitude. These 2 are no more my friends. These 2 are the demons. Okay, but how are I going to eradicate these 2? I'm going to eradicate these 2 by resorting to the final remedy. What is the final remedy? The wisdom of emptiness. What is this wisdom? The wisdom is the discerning mind whose apprehension of the object has with the reality. What's the reality? The reality is how everything is empty of objective existence, emptiness of objective existence of all phenomena. Okay, we'll quickly retreat the experience of emptiness, which we did as the 3rd seal, meditation to the 3rd seal as a part of the 4th seal. Quickly bring that experience now. Okay, what are you doing? I'm meditating. And what I'm consisted of? I'm consisted of the 6 elements. And the earth, and water, the fire, air, space, consciousness. Which of the 6 elements is you? None. None of the 6 elements is me. Like the top plank of the table is not the top plank. None of the legs is the table. Likewise, none of the 6 elements is me. Okay, you saw the self as so, this person is so object real. Now, remove the 6 elements. If these are not this self, remove the 6 elements. What is there left as a self? Nothing is left there. Stay in this experience for a while. The self is not one with its parts, not one with 6 elements, no different from these 6 elements, which means that from the object, nothing is there as a self. Okay, from the object is just empty. Stay in this experience. Okay, now imagine that you come out of this meditation. Again, the self comes back. Again, go into this meditation, ultimate analysis, the self disappears. Again, come out into conventional analysis, the self comes back. There's a constant change happening. The self appears, disappears, comes and is empty. The self exists, empty, exists, empty. There's constant change happening. This change for sure is not happening with the object. This change changes happen on the perception. Perception is purely subjective. So whatever is involved in this change is purely subjective. So this self is a part of this change. This self is also just the perception, just the subjective. From the object is purely empty. So what is there from the object? Keeping aside the first 6 elements. Keeping aside 6 elements, what is left there as the self there on the object? Nothing is left there. Stay in this experience for a while. In some cases, a tinge of fear can come in you. If it happens, you're very lucky, you're very fortunate. This is the indication of the clash that you are having. This wisdom emptiness, the clash having with the self-grasping feelings. This clash is represented in the form, manifested in the form of a tinge of fear. In some cases, incredible tranquility comes to you, peace comes to you, serenity comes to you. If should any of these experiences come to you, you're very fortunate. If not, still don't worry. It's a matter of your practice. With the practice, these things are bound to be experienced. Okay, slowly bring this, transform this fearless mind of the wisdom of emptiness into a spotless, clean white vajra, thumb-sized white vajra, vertically sitting on the moon is your heart. Okay, now you have the moon. Moon test, which symbolizes the conventional bodhicitta, which is unconditional love to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. This guarantees you that it's going to compare the self-centered attitude. And the Vajra is symbolizing the ultimate bodhicitta, which is the wisdom to see emptiness in its bare form. This is the final remedy to overcome the self-grasping. It's amazing. Wow, so lucky, so fortunate that today, since time immemorial till now, I did not get this opportunity. Today I'm getting this opportunity. Amazing. I'm so meritorious. Yes, of course you're meritorious, but don't forget about your 2 parents, your children, your family members, and everyone in this universe. They are suffering terribly. They don't have the Vajra moon. Of course, with the incredible love and affection towards the beings, incredible love and affection towards beings, this intense love and affection that you feel towards all the different sentient beings, invoke the Vajra moon that you have at your heart, multiply infinite number of times. Share one side of the Vajra moon at the heart of your mother, one side with your father at his heart, one side with each one of the family members, including children, one with each of the sentient beings here in the Kippa's Bodhicitta, Kippa's Yahiham, the insects, the animals, the human beings, the hungry ghouls, the hell beings, the gods and goddesses, the spirits, one with each one of the sentient beings in Israel, in the world, in this entire universe. Wow, it's amazing. This is the best way by which to repay the kindness of all the different sentient beings. It's amazing. Don't forget that all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, they're watching us. They're watching us since the time we sat on the cushion. They're watching us. They're so happy, so happy. Of course, why not we invite all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to be a witness, to be a guest on this the ceremony, for us undertaking the ceremony of the taking aspiration Bodhisattva vow, as a gesture of requesting them to be our witness and to be guests, and let us, along with all different sentient beings, let us slowly stand up to make 3 prostrations to all Buddhas Bodhisattvas. Okay, slowly stand up to make 3 prostrations, along with your parents, with your family members, all different sentient beings. possible, sit on our right knees. If you have no problem with your with your knees, with your back and so the back and so forth, if you have no problem, sit on the right knees. And please turn to page 34. Please turn to page 34. Okay, so indeed what we are doing is we are extremely fortunate that we are taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow, and you all know what the commitment is. Very simple, no special commitment. At the most, if to the best I can, I'll be kind with others. If not, at least I will not harm others. This is the maximum commitment. Okay, with this in mind, we're going to recite the first stanza of page 34. So this stanza is, in fact, in your case, you can take the whole aspiration Bodhisattva vow on the basis of this stanza, just this stanza. But what we're going to do is you're going to use this stanza as a preparation for us to actually engage in the Bodhisattva vow, the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. So this stanza is very extremely comprehensive in a reflection. I'm going to quickly explain this. So what we're doing here is it's a part of undergoing the journey, undertaking the journey of enlightenment. Entrance to this journey is taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. So for that matter, because this is a very important journey, the most important journey that somebody can possibly imagine in this universe, because this is the most important journey, we need incredible support. And the greatest of the support that we can think of is the three triple gem, the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So the first line says, I go for refuge to the triple gem. It means that I seek your support, the three jewels, so that my journey is going to be smooth and my journey is going to be swift. Now this journey involves the road. So this road must be cleared of the cleared of the obstacles like the boulders, trees, and so forth. And this road is none other than your own mind. So this mind must be cleared of the boulder and the trees of the negative karmas, afflictions, and so forth. The best way by which to cleanse the negative karmas is by confessing negativities. So the second line says, I confess the negativities individually in order to clear the road. Now the road is clear, but if the car does not have fuel, again you cannot undertake the journey. So this car is none other than your own mind. So this mind must have enough, adequate and enough the merit, virtues, so that you can undertake this journey. So the third line says, and the best way by which to accumulate merits within a very short span of time in the easiest way and most effective way is rejoicing in the virtues of others. Third line says, I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. Okay, now the road is clear and the car has enough fuel. Where are you going to go? So it says that I'm going to go to Buddhahood. So the fourth line says, I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. So this is what we're going to reflect on as we recite this 3 times, wholeheartedly. And you are leading this, and all sentient beings are joining you through your inspiration. And all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, they are watching us the way the child, age 5 girl or age 5 boy, for the first time in his or her life, making a performance, public performance on behalf of the school, and your parents so proudly come as an audience, amongst the audience, to wave at you, telling you that we are there we are there to give you moral support. We are there. We feel so proud of you, and you feel so proud indeed to see your parents are there. How they're so compassionate, so lovingly, so affectionately came there. They just they left everything, their job, everything they left just to come to witness what you're doing, to give you moral support and so forth. So this is exactly what all the Bodhisattvas they are feeling today. They are so happy, fully focused on what you're doing, paying full attention to what you're doing. So with this in mind, all the Bodhisattvas they are watching out with so much love and affection, and all the demon sentient beings they are surrounding you, and you are doing this, and everyone is so happy to join you and joins you in this journey. Okay, with that mind wholeheartedly, let us say these 3 times. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of the beings. I hold the precious within my heart. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious within my heart. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious within my heart. Okay, now the next 2 stanzas is the main ceremony of undertaking the aspiration bodhisattva, the main ceremony. For that matter, the meanings so important, and not only meanings, you must try to invoke the respective experiences. This is so extremely important. So you invoke the Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, and then there are 2 stanzas. The first stanza pertaining to the Buddhas, and second stanza pertaining to yourself. The first stanza is how the, for example, Buddha Shakyamuni, Prince Siddhartha, how one person, Prince Siddhartha, he becomes such an enlightened being today that he is able to benefit billions and billions and billions of human beings and animals, the insects and the sentient beings, to leading them to Buddhahood. How come that he was able to do that? For 2 reasons, for 2 factors. First, of course, it is to become a Buddha. How come that he become a Buddha and be able to benefit all beings? Through 2 factors. First, he was dealing with a very powerful motivation bodhicitta. He made a very strong commitment, the motivation commitment that I will become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. 1. Number 2, to materialize the aspiration of this bodhicitta, he actually engaged in the bodhisattva practices. What practices? 6 perfections and the 4 perfections, making 10 perfections. Generosity, ethical discipline, patience, enthusiasm, meditative concentration, wisdom. And then the skillfulness, aspirational prayer, power, and discriminatory wisdom. So he engaged in these practices that now he became Buddha, and he's every moment he's benefiting millions, billions, and trillions of sentient beings with enlightenment. Wow, if this is how he and she, they are able to do that, why not me? I will also follow their footsteps. I will also generate the bodhicitta, very strong commitment to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. And number 2, to materialize this aspiration, I will also engage in the bodhisattva activities, bodhisattva deeds, bodhisattva practices, such as 6 perfections, 4 perfections, total 10 perfections. Okay, this is what we're going to say wholeheartedly. To the 3rd repetition, when you say the last 2 lines, when you say, and likewise shall I too success for the bodhisattva practices, imagine that you have received the aspirated bodhisattva vow and feel the joy, intense joy. Okay. Our Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successively dwelt in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I'll generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the bodhisattva practices. Okay, in the process, if you feel a little painful with your legs, then sit in the most comfortable position, because your thoughts should not be deviated. Right? Sit comfortably, and the thoughts must be there. Okay. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successively dwelt in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I'll generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successively follow the bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successively dwelt in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I'll generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the bodhisattva practices. Okay, feel the joy, tremendous, incredible joy over having received the bodhisattva vow. This is so fortunate, at least in this life. Perhaps this is one of the rarest moments of ours where we have done something very meaningful. So, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they're so happy today to see that you made such a courageous commitment, the commitment of bodhicitta, the bodhisattva vow. And imagine that the mother, always for all these many years, eldest son, eldest daughter, they were always bringing complaints from the school principal complaining, the mother, that your son is not doing good, but the daughter is not doing good. All these many years, she is so frustrated overhearing all the bad things about the children. And today the school principal, escorted by the teachers, they come to the mother, and again the mother becomes very nervous. Again, what my daughter, what my son might have done something bad. This time it's very different. The school principal comes with a very courteous smile and congratulates mother, and the mother was surprised. Why congratulations? And the principal conveys the message that your daughter, your son, two of them are appointed the best students of the year of the school. And the mother could not believe her eyes, believe her ears, what she is hearing today. This is exactly what is happening to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. They are so happy today. Since time immemorial till now, we have been bringing only embarrassments, only sadness to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And today what we did is something so memorable, so good. So a source of, say, pride for all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. They are so happy. And this happiness and pride all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas experience invoke the Vajra moon at the hearts of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to multiply infinite number of times. And in barrage, like rain shower, the replicas of Vajra moon from Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they descend. They descend to merge with the one that you visualize at your heart. They become non-dual, stabilized and blessed. Likewise, the replicas of Vajra moon from the hearts of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, in barrage, like rain shower, they descend to merge with that you visualize at the heart of your mother, at the heart of your father, at the heart of all your family members, including your children, at the heart of everyone here in the kibbutz, everyone here in Israel, and everyone here in the world, everyone in the Milky Way galaxy, and everyone in the entire universe. Amazing. Okay, so if there is one gift which is most precious, this is a gift of this Vajra moon. And today you gave it, you gifted this to all eternal sentient beings. And this is the greatest offering that you can possibly think of making to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and today you offered it. And this greatest meaning of your life, and today you've extracted it. You have given the greatest meaning to your life. This is amazing. This is something which we really need to, it deserves to be rejoiced. And this is all happening because of the kindness of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. As a gesture of thanking all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, along with all general sentient beings, let us slowly stand and make three prostrations to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Okay, please take your seats. Page 35. Page 35. The end stanza. End stanza is to, so we are very fortunate that we, because of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, we are able to take this aspect of Bodhisattva today, and that we are able to see the value and the benefit and how to extract the greatest meaning, how to give the greatest meaning to one's life. But what about next lives? Next lives? We are not sure. So for that matter, to make sure that even in the next lives, we meet with these two teachings, the bodhicitta, the conventional bodhicitta, the ultimate bodhicitta, we include them
In practice, do the best you can. And there are two things.